Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 208. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Streezy. What's up, SLAC family? Welcome back, man.
Welcome back. Yes, what's good? We back in the building for another week in sports talk. And this week we are going to be doing a SLAC Express. Life happens, different circumstances arise. So we actually are doing this one a little bit pre-recorded. But one thing you may know is that we always will bring you a show every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're jumping off. So right now, we won't be able to have you guys as a part of our show and kind of include your comments in this show portion. But please make your comments. Go ahead and make your comments on the YouTube channel, and you'll be checking us out. We're going to be trying to join you as well in there to kind of get your guys' comments and engage with you during the show. But for right now, we're going to be doing this pre-recorded live solo type of thing. But that being said, Strizzy, check in with us. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It was a great weekend, real chill. Got to watch UFC, I think 292. My boy Sean O'Malley got the dub, man. He won the bantamweight championship. He's an Arizona native, man. He's one of my favorite fighters right now. So we were hyped, bro. I feel like every bar in Arizona was hyped to see him take it. I love Aljamain Sterling. Not saying he's a legit fighter too. Another really dude that I really enjoy fighting, but if I had to choose between the two, man, O'Malley's my boy. So he was hyped. I mean, that dude's right hand is firecracker, man.
I definitely was just saying, definitely was rooting for the hometown kid. And I do have one question about that one a little bit later on, but for now, let me go ahead and get these graphics, and we'll go ahead and bring up our first topic of the day.
What's up next?
Oh, let's check it out, man, real quick.
Tuned to NFL talk. Let's get it.
All right, NFL talk. We have to start off with a little bit of a crazy story, a sad story. The NFL preseason is in full effect. This is week 2 now for most teams, and we saw a scene this weekend eerily similar to last year's Damar Hamlin scene, but we had the Patriots rookie Isaiah Bolden. He collided with a teammate, actually was knocked unconscious and had to be carted off. This happened in the fourth quarter of the preseason game, and after kind of the teams, they kind of gathered on the field, and then the coaches actually came together and decided that they were going to suspend the rest of the game. So that game was suspended early, but Strizzy, I think you and I both agree with the decision to go ahead and cut it off, it being preseason and everything like that, but just sad situation altogether.
Yeah, man, it's tough, dude. You know what I mean? Like, things like this, it's like you can't prevent them. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what the NFL does every year to try to, we're trying to make the game safer, and this and that, new helmets, new pressurized things, everything, right? Like, the game's a dangerous sport, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And wholeheartedly, we saw it last year happen to Damar Hamlin, of the Buffalo Bills, and they stopped the game immediately there. And I'm glad they kind of did the same thing here and just mutually stop the game, man, because it's, I know it's super competitive, but I know at the end of the day, all these dudes love each other. Nobody wants to see each other. No one wants to see somebody carted off that way, and it's a scary feeling, man. Like, these dudes are big dudes. They're fast. You know what I mean? Like, I remember back in the day, like, playing high school football and stuff like that, and I don't know, man. You just sometimes some of the not even like sometimes like not even the craziest hits still.
Yeah.
They take you out, you know what I mean? And like you get up, you're seeing stars, you're dizzy, you might mess around and vomit, you know what I mean? And that's from a regular hit, you're okay, but you see something like this, man, it turns your stomach, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that the decision that they made to just go ahead and cut it, because after that, nobody wants to play. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to play anymore.
Yeah, and especially if you're not in the right headspace to actually play, like, then that's even more dangerous to be out there. So
exactly.
But no, I do agree with you. It'd be like those freak incidents or those like random ones, not necessarily the hits you would expect, but those like certain things that will be really scary. And like you said, very dangerous sport. Anytime you're out there, strapping it up, there's potential for something bad to happen. But especially in the preseason when it's not that serious of the result, definitely good to cut it off and just to get them out of there, get the players out of there. So. He was released from the hospital though on Sunday, so the next day he was just kind of kept overnight for evaluation. But all is good there. So that's good to hear. Another thing for preseason, though, it's kind of interesting is that Aaron Rodgers is supposed to make his Jets debut in the preseason. Now he actually hasn't played in the preseason since like 2018, I think. Was the last time But him being with the Packers so long and being a veteran, like preseason loses its importance. But I think since he's like on a new team, like in a new squad, like it's good for that. What do you think about that though? Would you want to play in the preseason, or would you just be like whatever?
Now, honestly, for me, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, like number one, he's getting older. He's not, he's not 33 anymore. You know what I'm saying? And he is with a brand new team, brand new offense, brand new scheme. But I would treat it the same way you treat all of your veteran guys, your franchise guys. Get them in there for a series or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the first series goes well and he doesn't take any hits, cool, give him another one. But the thing is, with preseason and not preseason, but with camp, your defense is not coming after you as hard as a real opposing team is, right? So you're just literally not getting the best possible looks you can because no one's trying to hurt you. They're for damn sure not trying to hurt their franchise quarterback because I know for a fact, yeah, like they're not trying to go back to Zach Wilson. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a good thing, but if he gets hit, like, sacked once, it's like bring him back out. Like he got a couple game time reps. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. But Aaron Rodgers is a smart dude. He'll throw the ball away. He'll go down, whatever the case may be. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for all of the prime starters to get some real time reps in. Nothing crazy. They're veterans. They played this game before, but real reps are better than practice reps. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I agree. Especially after they spend all offseason talking about getting this guy and how they're Super Bowl bound and all this stuff. You definitely know that his defense isn't going after him in practice. But yeah, I would want to feel the same way. Just kind of get that dress rehearsal out of the way, do that walkthrough. Put the uniform on, go out there. I think that those things are important a little bit. I'm kind of disappointed that the Cowboys, apparently they're not playing any of their starters in the preseason at all. At least that's what they said the plan has been, and they haven't played them so far. So I kind of don't like that. I'm like, don't come out rusty that first game. That'll be super whack. So I would kind of want to play my squad. But speaking of our squads, I definitely wanted to get your opinion on the Panthers after their week 2, and especially Bryce Young. Which way is the arrow pointing for you now after week 1? Now seeing his performance in week 2, both have been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I mean, it's like at least they put some points up, but it still had nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? Like as a team, it's just it's preseason, right? So you're just seeing a lot of these third and fourth string dudes who are trying to make the team go out there and play. But from what I've seen from the starters so far, it just hasn't been good. You know what I mean? And it sucks because like I know it's preseason. They got a lot of bumps and bruises to go. He's a rookie. I think the thing that sucks the most for me though is that. Number one, I'm not a fan of Bama quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So I already kind of have a negative sense in my head about him being there. And two, I wanted Anthony Richardson, and seeing his rookie debut last week be so well, it kind of sucks, right? So right now my output is just so negative because I'm just like, man, I didn't want Bryce Young. I wanted Anthony Richardson. Bryce doesn't look good right now. Anthony Richardson does. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of frustrating. I hope they can turn it around. I hope they can fix it. Like Pops is always saying, franchise quarterbacks don't just fall off trees. You know what I'm saying? But man, I really, really believe that Richardson was going to be like the guy in the draft that he was the third quarterback pick, so it's not like he was overlooked. But I think he's going to be kind of like the Justin Herbert, right? Like the quarterback that wasn't picked first, but has the tools and it's one of the better ones out there. So. And man, he's bigger. He's like a bigger, stronger. He's like a faster Cam Newton and a bigger Lamar Jackson in Anthony Richardson. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I don't know. He looked so good last week. I'm a little discouraged, but hopefully they can fix it. But the offensive line got to do some work too, man. They're struggling to keep our quarterbacks safe, but it's not looking good right now. I'm not exactly happy with what I've seen.
Well, 2 weeks from this Sunday, they'll be opening up against the Atlanta Falcons. So hopefully they get it together. It'll be interesting to see. But I do feel bad for Young, and like so many of these top draft picks, where they're always constantly compared to their peers, and so you can never really judge their performance without that extra lens of knowing we could have had this guy, we could have had that guy. It's the whole Mitch Trubisky and Patrick Mahomes thing for sure. So that part sucks, but I hope that he will do well for the Panthers. Checking in on my squad, the Cowboys. They lost some players to injury, which definitely sucks in the preseason. You never want to have that happen. But one kind of exciting thing is Deuce Vaughn. Pops and I have been kind of debating on whether he's going to get a serious look or not, whether he's going to get serious touches when actually season comes along. But he's made some a handful of electric plays, so I do think he will get a chance to get out there. And also considering like our running back depth isn't the best behind Pollard, like it's all young like first or second year guys. So we'll see. That's been kind of something exciting. But I do have to say, like, the NFL is kind of touting it up, too. Like, they keep releasing things on their social media and, like, putting out different clips, like, talking about Deuce Vaughn. And I know it's a feel-good story, and I know it's awesome because he's a little guy, playing against big guys. But I hope it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some real production during the regular season. And I'm really hoping for that.
For sure. I wanted to mention this real quick, too. There's a player that's been playing in so far both of the preseason games on the Lions. Their first-round linebacker, Dan Campbell. Yeah, that kid's nice, bro. Like, that kid has been phenomenal. Like, that kid has been like, I don't know if they do awards for preseason, but that kid's been really, really good, man. So, and Aiden Hutchinson isn't even playing yet. So the Lions defense might actually look pretty all right. You know what I'm saying? Pretty all right this year. That kid, Dan Campbell, looks really, really good.
But Dan Campbell's the coach's name. Is that the player's name?
Sorry. Is it John Campbell?
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. My fault. Yeah, Jack Campbell. I was thinking the coach's name, but yeah, Jack Campbell. He looks nice, bro. Like, he looks really, really good, man. He's making play after play, and he's just been an absolute monster. So you got him, and then you got Aiden Hutchinson coming back. He probably won't play in the preseason, honestly, because he doesn't really need to as a defensive player. But who knows, man? Like, they might be all right.
Yeah, people are touting them as a potential Super Bowl contender. I don't know, but there's only a handful of teams, like 5 or 6 teams on either side, like the AFC and the NFC, that I feel like could really actually get to the big dance. Maybe they're creeping back towards that, but I definitely want to see how they build on that first year with Dan Campbell and keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's up. I do like the preseason. It's kind of exciting, but it's almost becoming more like the NBA Summer League, where you're only watching the rookies. Like, that's and like there's nobody else really playing. Which is kind of cool, though, because you do get to see these other guys play, and you'll get to see, which ones actually make a splash in the future.
For sure.
But that's our little report. But we're really close. This Thursday will be 2 weeks away from the opener with the Lions we were just talking about going up against the Super Bowl champion Chiefs. So very exciting times. And Secure the Bag will be back, and also our Pick'em will be back. So we'll get ready for that. And we'll be sure next week to kind of give you some more details on that and start putting out those links. So get ready. Breezing on through on this SLAC Express, we have NBA talk. Team USA, they finished up their preseason campaign going 5-0 against their exhibition opponents. And last night it was Germany, or the other night it was Germany with our boy Schroeder. He was doing his thing, but they were actually down by, I think it was 16 at one point in the second half.
Yeah. Came
back and won with some lockdown defense. And Anthony Edwards is kind of leading the charge as that best player on the team. But what do you think? What do you think of what you've seen so far with Team USA?
So far, so good. You know, it's funny. I was a little eerie about this team at the beginning, but looking at a lot of the other national teams, a lot of their primary players aren't playing either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of their big name players who are in the NBA still, like, they're actually not playing. So this our USA team is actually doing really, really well. I got a little worried though when we were down 16. Honestly, and Dennis Schroeder was killing them, and Theis, and they were kind of killing them at the beginning. But like you said, man, defense came through. They got a lot of steals coming up. Reeves had a really good go ahead basket 3 and a steal dunk. And so it was just like, and then what started it was Reeves and the kid from
Halliburton.
Indiana.
Yeah,
they started the charge, man. Yeah. They started the charge, and then Anthony Edwards came back in and just took right back over. It was 34 points, and that's crazy for international play. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So he came through, and he's been the man for this team so far, man. He played really, really well.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned though Halliburton and Reeves coming off the bench, because they actually came off the bench but closed the game on the court.
Exactly.
So that is kind of been a little bit of a twist for Steve Kerr, but yeah, he's getting a lot of this. And you're right. I was worried about this team at first too, but it was really until we kind of broke down the roster and you and Marcus convinced me that it was going to actually work out pretty well. So it's been exciting to watch. I do hope they make a run, even though it's not going to be how it's been in the past, where it's just like an automatic slam dunk, if you will, for Team USA. I still think that they could potentially get it done, but it's going to be very exciting to see. So that's where we're at with basketball. That actually starts. They're headed to Manila, and I think it starts next week. The other thing is James Harden. We know we talked about him and his Daryl Morey comments, but now the NBA is apparently investigating the situation to determine if there was some kind of a potential of him like talking about holdout, or if he was actually talking about past negotiations that Daryl Morey lied about, and there were that those past negotiations could have potentially like been tampering or like salary cap type of evasion. So they're actually investigating this incident. James Harden is standing on basically that he's only said that in reference to them like not trading him this offseason. But we'll see. It's always scary once the NBA starts investigating to see what might start happening. So
start asking text messages and emails.
Exactly. And it's crazy because this is kind of the same thing that the NBA did like a month and a half ago with Dame Lillard.
Yep.
And he still hasn't been traded. Like that whole thing froze up too.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe these players are putting too much out there, and it's starting to kind of get the NBA involved where they can potentially start blocking things. It's pretty crazy.
Exactly. Which kind of sucks because this is like, speaking on Dame Lillard in Miami, like this is exactly what happened to Miami last year. Like we put all of our eggs in trying to get Kevin Durant, and we ended up with literally no one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we made literally no offseason moves last year because we put all of our baskets in KD. So it's like if the same thing happens again where we don't end up getting Damian Lillard, then we literally lost a bunch of good players. We lost Gabe Vincent to you guys. You know what I'm saying? We lost Max Strus, I think, to Cleveland, I believe. So we lost two really good players, a really good backup point guard. Honestly, should have been our starting point guard if I'm being completely honest. But we lost him. We lost our one of our snipers and Max. So it's like if we ended up not getting Dame again, we're going into another year with basically the same team but a weakened team. You know what I mean? And we haven't made no offseason move. So hopefully, man, we figure this out and get something moving.
Yeah. Or else they'll be looking at Spoelstra to pull a rabbit out of hat again and go find some other undrafted players, to try to be role players for a finals run. It's pretty crazy.
I like the rookie we got, though. The rookie we got is nice. So I think honestly, he's going to be he's probably going to be a part of any trade we do, especially for Dame. But if we don't get to get Dame and we get to keep him, I think Spo will be able to bring him in nicely.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. But the NBA is about as quiet as it's been in a while. We'll check in on the World Cup. That'll keep us satisfied a little bit on the hoop side, and then we'll be back before we know it. But let's keep this thing moving. Next up, we got other sports, and it was kind of cool. The Little League MLB thing went on this weekend, and basically it's where during the Little League World Series they have an actual game with the pros in the Little League field. It's kind of bigger when they actually put the MLB players on there, so that way they're not just hitting home runs left and right. But one interesting thing this year was the Phillies versus the Nationals, is that they had like all these different design bats, and this one was definitely my favorite. Like to me, this design is hard. It looks like the number 2 pencil, like a giant number 2 pencil, and that's pretty gangster. Like this is kind of thing that's just kind of cool and different for this since it's a special event game. But nothing that they could normally do like on a regular basis. But I thought that was pretty dope. What kind of bat would you want to rock though, if you're gonna have a special design?
If I could have a special design bat, honestly, I'd probably go with some type of like anime theme bat, like a Naruto type theme. Like that'd probably be my theme for sure. Like an Akatsuki scheme, like an all black with the red clouds.
That'd be sick.
That's my stuff, man. That's my stuff.
That would be tight. That would be bringing a whole different flavor. I'm surprised the Japanese leagues don't have some stuff like that because they have all kinds of fun stuff at their games, and to keep the fans involved. If I ever do get to go to Japan, I want to go one day. It'd be cool to see a baseball game because they go hard out there. But let's touch real quick then as we keep this thing moving on UFC. Now I know you talked about Suga again, earlier. But my question for you is: do you think at all that the fight was stopped too soon, or do you think like this is where it was headed?
No, I don't actually. So, and let me explain why. So number one, like Shane's, he's a striker. Like that's his bread and butter, right? Like So when you watch the punch that knocked him out or knocked him down essentially in real time,
started it. Yeah,
it was clean. Like, I mean, he got full fist, like full fist underneath, like full cheek under the chin, and it put him down. Like, it put him down, and then the ref allowed it to go for a while. What really stopped it was Shane is probably one of the best at punching dudes again from like that stand-up like he's looking right now.
Exactly.
And he bounced his head off of the mat again. So when you watch the replay, he punched him from there and his head like bounced off the mat again. And then he went down to get some more hammer fists. Once he did that, like at that point, Aljamain he couldn't even really protect himself. He's aware of what's happening, so he's moving, but he's out. He's done.
He's done. Yeah.
He's got blood coming from his eyes, like. So I don't think it was stopped too soon. I think Rogan said, because you're the champion, you gotta give him a little bit more time than that. But I don't think I think the ref actually gave him more time than he probably should have, because he was just getting pummeled at a certain point. Like, he was just taking hits, and he would have kept going. Like, at some point he would have just kept getting his head smashed into the ground. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta protect him. You know what I mean? Like, they might have a rematch clause since he was the champion. You know what I mean? So.
True.
Keep him right for a rematch. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that.
Yeah,
I definitely feel that.
I actually don't think that one was done too soon. I think it was right on time, because he could have just. Sometimes when you get knocked out like that, a ref will call it off immediately. Like, no, he's eyes in the back of his head, but now he actually let him try to regain himself, and it was about a solid 10 seconds, 12 seconds before he called it off. So I think it was solid.
Yeah, I agree as well. Some people were saying, it was a little bit too soon, but my thing is he did give him a chance to get up, to recover, to change positions at all. And, also is, it was so early in the round when he first got knocked down. Yeah. Aljamain wasn't going to survive, 4 minutes on his back like this, basically, when the way he was taking these shots. So I agree. I think it was a good call and a right call. But I am happy for Suga, and especially because he was kind of the underdog in this fight. So if they do fight again, I hope he can keep the belt. But that's definitely exciting for the hometown kid. So that's what's up. I think we're just about to wrap this thing up. We got one more slide to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
And that is Messi and Inter Miami, and they won the Leagues Cup that they were in. And that's pretty dope. It was actually an exciting fashion. It was penalty kicks that went to overtime.
Yeah.
But the Messi effect that he's had on this club, and especially in this cup, which they were strategic, kind of saving him and building him up, and then wanting to use him in this cup to where they could actually win something without going all the way through the playoffs and like winning the playoffs. Since this is kind of like a side quest tournament for the MLS. So that was very smart, because it's been giving them the attention, but also like giving them a chance to achieve something and kind of believe. So we'll see from there. But do you think that this Messi situation is going to create other people potentially following him? I know we've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah, man. I was literally talking to my boy about this when I was at his house watching the UFC fights. Like, the amount of goals that Messi have scored in such a short amount of games is crazy, and the amount of money that they gave, I think it will. I think I get it. We just saw Neymar go over to the Saudi leagues for that big payout, but those are some big names. If they can get some more guys like that on some of these teams, I think this could be a kind of a new wave, considering how well Messi's been, because he's a monstrous fish in a pond right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking about talent. It's like Messi at like top tier, and then there's like two blank tiers under him before they start getting to like other players. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a monster here. So before he got there, this team wasn't even remotely close to being considered for like the big championship, right? Now they're actually up there. Like, they're actually a favorite now to win it all. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's all because of Messi. You know what I mean? So, will they win? I don't know. It's going to be hard. There are definitely teams that are better than they are, but he, like you said, like, he's adding a different confidence to them, making them believe that they can go farther than what they probably would have gone without him, for sure. So, I think, I know Ronaldo was talking about how he thinks Messi made the wrong decision. I'm starting to think Ronaldo made the wrong decision, because ain't nobody talking about him right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, he's not in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure that the deals are sweet out there and the money is real, but also like being on the US stage has kind of brought a different light to it. And I think that the timing is right too, because soccer has been building and been brewing slowly in the background for a long time. Maybe this is the kind of burst, the lift it needs to kind of really become a little bit more mainstream around, around here at least. Because we already know the rest of the world is soccer's number one. So
yeah, for sure.
But that's what it is. That's what it is. A couple different little things going on. Coco Gauff won a big tournament, a Masters level tournament. So congratulations to her. But yeah, nothing else too crazy. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down now. We want to thank you guys for rocking with us all the time. That was Say Like a Champ episode 208. We'll be back next week again with you guys live in full effect. And then, like we said, very soon to the NFL. Get ready for the Pick'em League, and get ready for Secure the Bag, and get ready for your fantasy too. We need to talk some fantasy, maybe like our top maybe 5 players each. Maybe you and I can do or something like that, where we kind of get prepped for fantasy, because I know we're going back in your league and we're putting a little sweetener in the pot this time. But when is the draft actually? Is it this weekend or next weekend? I need to get
it's next Sunday, 27th at 6.
Okay, all right, cool. There you have it. So I know we got some slackers out there that are participating in the league as well. So that's just a good reminder for us all. And I'll be back to keep my crown, to defend my crown. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready.
Trying to dethrone you, dog. 2 years in a row, fam.
Yes, we're very exciting. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for the comments, for the loves, for the likes, for the shares, and we appreciate y'all. We'll see you again real soon. But until then, it's your boy A-Dub
and your boy Striz.
Peace.
And you say the truth.